Radio 8 to 5 production. Next, we will hear from the principal of Bugil Academy, Mr. Sun Jong Kim. As the head of this institution, Principal Kim has not only helped students and teachers plan the IYLF, but has also encouraged students to broaden their intellectual horizons through the conference. Please give him a big round of applause.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sun Jong Kim, the principal of Bugil Academy. I would like to welcome the student delegate from China, Indonesia, Singapore, and of course, our student delegate from Bugil Academy and Bugil Girls Academy. It is amazing to see so enthusiastic and talented students from our region of the world. I hope the experience you gain here will provide very valuable insight for your future. I would also like to welcome all of the principals and teacher chaperones from Yale School. I hope you and your students are not too tired from your flight, so that you will have a plenty of energy throughout this week to enjoy very valuable, very wonderful experience together. Sorry. Namaskar. Good evening, or idea. I would like to thank you everyone who worked hard to prepare for this year's forum. Our student staff members, Miss Lily Liu, our Dean of Student Life, and Thomas Ga, GLP Director. Thank you for your leadership and tireless effort. As you all know, the theme of this year's forum, the visions of the future, challenges and opportunities for the Asia Pacific. Today's modern society faces many kinds of challenges, many of which did not exist just one generation ago. However, there are so many new opportunities to bring about positive change for our society. Steve Jobs' goal in life was to make a dent in the universe. I know you will make all kinds of interesting new dents in the universe. I hope this forum will provide you many new ideas on how to make those dents. Thank you once again. Please enjoy 2017 International Young Leaders Forum. Thank you.
Thank you for the inspiring words of Vice Principal Kim. We appreciate your participation, encouragement, and support. Now, let us welcome the true stars of today's show, the delegation of this year's International Young Leaders Forum 2017. We will display the national flags up on the screen. When your name is called, country's name is called, please come up.
From China, Foreign Language School. Please welcome the delegates from China with a big round of applause.
Next, from Indonesia. Venus School. Please welcome the delegates from Indonesia with a big round of applause.
Next, from Republic of Korea. Bugil Academy. Northwest School, Bugil Girls Academy. Please welcome the delegate from Republic of Korea.
Next, from Singapore. Keynote Institution. Please welcome the delegates from Singapore with a big round of applause. Now today we have three schools, Brisbane Grammar School, Brisbane Girls Grammar School, and Changsha International School, who are planning to originally come to the IYLF. However, were not able to due to unexpected complications. Regardless, we welcome each and every delegate who are present in this room to the 9th IYLF 2017.
So once again, we welcome each and every delegate to the 9th IYLF 2017. And now we'll move on. Next, we would like to present a speech from Dokyeong Lee, a sophomore from Bugil Academy, Global Leader Program. Dokyeong will represent his division of future, specifically on the topic of the power of making predictions and negative thinking. Please welcome him to the stage.
Hello, my name is Dokyeong Lee, a sophomore here at Bugil Academy. Welcome to IYLF. Thank you very much. Today, I am going to deliver a presentation about the power of negative thinking. What, you might say, it's ridiculous. Why? Because every day, we've been told about the notion of positive thinking. We have been told that by thinking positively, we can act and think more enthusiastically, and it leads us to achieve the results that we want. However, is that notion always valid? And can we actually solely rely on positive thinking no matter what hardship we might face? Barbara Ehrenreich, an American author and social activist, has actually made a statement that directly goes against the notion of positive thinking. She contends that major financial failures in modern America's history were actually caused from humans' excessive tendency to think positively. Now, what does that statement mean? And is it actually true? How can we evaluate whether or not the statement is true? We have to go back to the 1990s and see how the financial markets went there in order to see whether or not it is true. So, this is the graph that shows the Nasdaq index from 1994 to 2004. Of course, you might all know it, but Nasdaq is a stock index and stock market that evaluates the value of technology companies. So, in the 1990s, computer became popularized. As a result, a lot of people bought a lot of computers. And they thought that internet and computers might be their next big thing. So, they invested heavily in technology stocks, or so-called dot-com companies. Well, these are the results of those crazy statistics. These statistics and these numbers showed that the markets was a little bit strange. It was too overvalued. However, a lot of investors went against it. They actually said, well, ignore these numbers. We are living in a world where digital technology dominates our everyday lives. Well, instead, we should focus on the pattern and the return. Then you'll see that this is an opportunity that you can see only once in your lifetime. Well, what was the result? A disaster. More than half of .com companies went bankrupt because of its aftermath, and the Nasdaq Composite Index lost its value by 80%. Now, let me ask you, what did positive thinking play in this situation? Now, in this situation, positive thinking has led people to ignore the problems that they ought to deal with. By filling the investors' minds with exuberance and passion, they actually led investors to think irrationally. To improve the future situation and to solve the problems, we often have to think negatively in order to deal with the problems, because negative thinking, it has turned out, can do a wonderful job here. So, how can we use the power to think negatively into something valuable? These are the 3 steps that we can turn our assets, negative thinking, into something much more valuable. It was initially suggested by Willie Greer, the modern inventor of air conditioner. We can start the process by actually visualizing the worst case scenario that can ever happen to us. We can actually ask to ourselves, in worst case scenario, what could happen? After then, we have to investigate the situation thoroughly. We have to see whether it is realistic or not, and then we have to admit it's fully. Because it can lay the solid foundation on which we can conduct the 3rd step, improving it by opening up questions. How can we apply it in real life? Actually, there is a company that faithfully executed these 3 steps and gained huge results. It is a company called Apple. So, in the 1990s, Apple went through a major overhaul as Steve Jobs was returning to Apple in 1996. He did not silence the critics. He did not think positively. Instead, he himself tried to think negatively. He thought of the worst case scenario. In this case, it was evidently the company going bankrupt. As he had that idea, going bankrupt in his mind, he could actually investigate the company's financial situations and its culture. And he ended up with somewhat shocking conclusion that his company has the potential to go out of business within 6 months if they do not take further steps. It was a daunting conclusion. However, as a company CEO, he could not stop there because his company would go bankrupt. So he decided to build up questions based on the conclusions that he decided. So he opened up some questions. How can we get out of this mess? And what steps should we implement if we were to do the improvements? As a result, they could come up with a solution. First, deal with how. They tried to simplify the company's product line. And what? By totally restructuring the company's administrative business. The result was iPad, iPhone, iMac, and iPod. These were all simple and solid, but it is extremely powerful. As a result,